Hi, it's me again doing my back-to-back reading. I know I haven't been stable. I'm trying to really hard to get back to the habit, right? So I am reading the Lean Startup. I've started a week ago. I've been making good progress, and today I thought since the weather is really good, I thought to do a session here, and I aim to basically last for an hour minimum, and I will do my best to commit to it. So how I'm going to work on it, I will basically write everything in my Notion, right? So I have a Notion page for all the books that I read, and I will just make sure to write and reflect there. Okay. And if this is your first time watching this, it's basically me reading. You just like study with me, right? But it's more of a this is read with me. There is no good music. It's just like me reading on the in a public places, sometimes in my room, some like other times in a public cafes, right? So why I'm doing this, I'm doing this for me to retro back on it when things, in the future maybe, and it could inspire some of my friends to basically grab a book that they have been on the shelf for so long and get start reading it, right? So yes, let's start it. You might be bored, but the goal is that you have something to do while watching, if you're watching. Let me find a good angle. I guess this could be a good one, right? And I do basically share my reflection lively, right? So I will try to not only read, but I will try to reflect loudly and write, right? So let's me open my Notion, the Lean Startup, and let's start with basically my reflection over here. Let's open this one. Let's start, right? The weather is pretty good nowadays. It's really good, really fun. Okay. I believe that entrepreneurship requires a managerial discipline to harness the entrepreneurial opportunity we have done. There are more entrepreneurs operating today than in the history. This has been made possible with dramatic change in the global economy. Society, Wow, I love this. What makes these failures, like he's talking about the startups who failed, so what makes these failures particularly painful is not just the economic damage done to individual employees, companies, and investors. They also an important waste of our civilization most precious resource, which is the time and passion and skill of its people. The time. The lean startup movement is dedicated to preventing these failures. If I ever wanted to write a book, it would be about it would be about time, right? How time should be. It would be how time should be proceeded, right? How should we, يعني, think of time, approach time. I say it's very important. Some people miss it. So the roots of the lean startup. The lean startup takes its name from the lean manufacturing revolution that HEO in Chicago are credited with development at Toyota. Lean thinking is radically altering the way supply chain and production system are run. Among its tenets are drawing on the knowledge and creativity of individual working, the shrinking of batch size, just-in-time production and inventory control, and the acceleration of cycle times. It's, it taught the world the difference between value creating activities and waste, and showing how to build equality into products from the inside out. The lean startup adopts these ideas of the context of entrepreneurship, proposing that entrepreneurs judge their progress differently from the way other kind of ventures do. Progress in the manufacturing is measured by the production of high quality physical goods. As we will see in chapter 3, the lean startup uses a different unit of progress called validating learning. With scientific learning as our yardstick, we can we can discover and eliminate the sources of waste that are Blanchard entrepreneurship, and a comprehensive theory of entrepreneurship should address all the function of the early stage venture, vision and concept and product development, marketing and sales, scaling up, partnership and distribution, and structure and organizational design. It has to provide a method of measuring progress in context of extreme uncertainty. It can give entrepreneurs a clear guide on how to make the many trade-off decisions they face, whenever and when to invest in a process, formulating, planning, and creating infrastructure, when to go it alone and when to partner, when to respond to a feedback and when to stick with the vision. I love this. And how and when to invest in scaling the business. Most of all, it must allow entrepreneurs to make testable predictions. What does that mean? It must allow entrepreneurs to make testable predictions. So they are predicting stuff that they could test against. Nice. For example, let's okay. Consider the recommendation that you build cross-functional teams and hold them accountable to what we call learning milestones instead of organizing your company into strict functional department, marketing, sales, information technology, human resources, etc. Let's go. For example, consider the recommendation that you build the cross-functional teams and hold them accountable to what we call learning milestones instead of organizing your company into strict functional departments, marketing, sales, information technology, human resources, etc. That hold people accountable for performing well in their specialized area. Right? Perhaps you agree with this recommendation, or perhaps you are skeptical. Either way, if you decide to implement it, I predict that you pretty quickly will get a feedback from your team that the new process is reducing their productivity. They will ask to go back to the old way of working, in which they had the opportunity to stay efficient by working on large batches and passing work between departments. It's safe to predict this result, and not just because I have seen it many times in other companies I work with. It's straightforward prediction of the lean startup theory itself. When people are used to evaluating their productivity locally, they feel that a good day is one in which they did their job well all day. Interesting. It's safe to predict this result and not because I have seen it many times in the companies I work with. It's a straightforward prediction of the lean startup theory itself. When people are used to evaluating theory product, pro- productivity, people they feel that not a good day is one in which they did their job well all day. So when I work with a public workplace, that meant that 8 straight hours of programming without interruption. That was a good day. In contrast, when I was interrupted in the question process of having for a big meeting, people ever heard would be very from that day. It was weird because I was laughing and this guy was looking at me laughing while reading. I guess I will use my headset now. I'll just push back this peer pressure. Having meetings, I felt bad when we did. I really accomplished that product features were tangible to me. I could see them, understand them, and show them how learning what was frustrating and using. So basically, he's saying that he can feel much better about himself if the productivity were tangible, right? So he's a programmer, right? And he was feeling really good if his day was meetings free, because he'll be able to see the features, he will be able to understand and just push them to, you know, production maybe, right? So he can see his impact in a very tangible way, right? And he's saying, unlike learning is very is frustratingly intangible, which is something that Yanhua is discussing. The lean startup asks people to start measuring their productivity differently, because startup often accidentally build something nobody wants. It doesn't matter much if they do it on time or on budget. The goal of a startup is to figure out the right thing to build, the thing customer want and will buy for, as quickly as possible. In other words, the lean startup is a new way of looking at the development of innovative new products that emphasize fast iteration and customer insight. A huge vision, a great ambition, all the time, all at the same time. Yeah, وحلو هالفكرة. I like it. I really like it. The fact that يعني basically I want to just write stuff about this. So it basically talks about productivity and like how are we associating it, right? Because we might end up learning from stuff that they are that the result is very intangible, right? And just like learn about it, like after, for example, a year when you face situations like, oh, I'm doing this because I went through this bad experience, right? So this could make me say tangible result does not necessarily mean good or mean productive, right? Because this means if I say tangible result is equal productivity, it means that the intangible one are not, which is something that I kind of disagree with, right? And I guess the book will basically go over this in a more okay. So Henry Ford, Henry Ford is one of the most successful and celebrated entrepreneurs of all time. Since the idea of management has been brought up with the history of automobile, automobile, since its first day, I believe it is fitting to use the automobile in a metaphor for a startup. And an internal combustion automaton is powered by two important and very different feedback loops. The first feedback loop is deep inside the engine. Before Henry Ford was a famous CEO, he was an engineer. He spent his days and nights ti- tinkering in his garage with the precise mechanics of getting the engine cylinders to move. Each tiny acceleration with the cylinder provide the motive force to turn the wheel, but also drive the ignition of the next acceleration unless the timing of this feedback loop is managed precisely. The engine will splutter and break down. I see. Startup have a similar engine that I call the engine of the growth. The markets and customers for startup are diverse, right? A toy company, a consultant firm, a manufacturing plant may not seem like they have much income, but let's write this one right there. The engine of growth. The engine of a car, huh? You feel like every every new vision of a product, every new feature, and every new marketing program is an attempt to improve this engine of growth. Like Henry Ford tinkering in his garage. Not all of these changes turn out to be improvements. New product development happens in fits and starts. Much of much of the time in the startup's lifestyle is spent turn, tuning the engine by making improvements in products, marketing, and operations. The second important feedback loop is in the automobile is between the driver and the steering wheel. This feedback is immediate and automatic that we often don't think about, but but it is steering that differentiates drivers from most other forms of transportation. If you have a daily commute, you probably know the road as well that your hands seem to steer you there on your own effort. We can predictably drive the road in our sleep, yet when I ask you to close your eyes and write down exactly how you got your office. Just your actions, not every action you really need to take. Pushing behind, and listen. They hear the driving. عليكم السلام. Unfortunately, to start a business plans, look online, Uh, there is a line here that I guess it stuck to me, right? It talks to me that it's saying here the lean startup, because here it talks about the company that invests so much time and effort and budget into building up, like launching a product that did not see the light, and then they couldn't really handle it, then they miserably failed at it. This kid is annoying, right? And then the writer is saying the lean startup method in construct is designed to teach you how to drive a startup instead of making complex plans that are based on a lot of assumptions. You can make constant judgment with steering the wheel called build, measure, lean, feedback loop. It's basically saying that because there are a lot of time where I stand between a crossroad. I was like, I don't really know which one should I take, right? I have zero preference here. I don't have a ground that I can judge upon, right? And I found myself falling into the assumptions, and then with a lot of bias to my assumptions, conforming them, right? And I feel that this is really wrong, right? I guess I will learn why this is wrong. Okay, through this process of steering, we can learn when and if it's time to make a sharp turn called pivot into whatever we should preserve along our current path. Once we have an engine that rev up, the lean startup offers a method to scale and grow the business with maximum acceleration. Throughout the process of driving, you always have a clear idea of where you're going. If you're commuting to work, you don't give up because you're detoured on the road or you made the wrong turn. You maintain purely focused. You maintain truly focused on getting to your destination. Startup also have a true north. Startups also have a true north, the destination, and creating a thriving and world-changing business. I call that a startup driven to achieve that business. Startup employs strategy, which about which include a business model, a product roadmap, a point of view about partner, a competitors, and an idea about who the customer will be, product, and their design strategy. Oh, I'm falling in love. I'm falling in love. I'm falling in love. My role model. He's a distinguished E7 software engineer at Meta. Uh, he's an individual contributor. He really likes to code a lot. He said something that really resonated with me, and this book is basically supporting it. It's like there are a lot of time where you just have to shut up your ego, right? Just like shut up your mind, just like trying to bring ideas or assumptions, and you're just like being biased to them and think you're just going there, like jumping into the solution so comfortably, and your ground it's absolute assumptions that has no reality. And this basically kind of is saying the same, right? Like it feels like being like building a product require you to a lot of being uh, being a lot of open, less of let's say directive, right? So it's really easy just to be open to how your product could be consumed rather than being open to hear a confirmation to your pre-configured idea, right? So it's more of not your receptor should not watch whatever that supports your idea, but it has to basically watch what is basically what being wanted versus what you're basically solving, right? So, so like this diagram shows that like the vision has to be in the base, then upon the vision there will be a strategy, and then upon the strategy is the product, right? So just like product, it's basically showing the stuff that are beneath it, right? So for my question, the crossroad, right, between which road should I take, should not be based on my gut feeling. It should be based on a vision and strategy, right? So like it's very important just to know the vision you're building for. Then you can make up this like, does this path align with the vision? Yes, it does not like go for like, and this even like this even in reality, and as like to me as a person, right? If I just know the vision, my vision, what I want to be in 10 years, 5 years, right, long or short, it could be very easily to decide like, should I marry now or should I move to a new country to excel at my career, right? Like just knowing that will help. Like, oh no, maybe establishing like traveling somewhere else to enhance your career does not align with your vision, right? And that's it's a shortcut in life, right? And it's like a shortcut in product because we most of the time build the stuff that does not align on a shared vision, right? It could be, this is how I think, right? And then end up losing so many stuff, which is time. We end up losing time. I don't think we end up losing money and everything. I guess time is the measure here. And I have this like this reminder has been set since 2 years. I know it's random, but I have a reminder that has been set since 2 years, and it's always reminding me to read at 11. So I got it now. It feels good. It does. Anyhow, product changed constantly through the process of optimization, what I call tuning the engine. Less frequently, the strategy may have to change, called pivot. However, the However, the ever-changing vision rarely changed. Entrepreneurs are committed to seeing a startup through growth without destination. Every setback and the opportunity for learning how to get where they want to go. Okay, I like this. It kind of trigger a lot of thoughts in my brain. I just was just writing a lot about it here. Whew. Anyhow, okay. The terrible lighting here. Okay. Yeah, he's talking about a successful manager who has a really good understanding of team structure and a good vision for the company, and basically has a good appetite for basically risk taking. So he has all the theoretical that he needs to basically build up a successful product, right? But he, as the author is saying, that he found himself more immersed in the basically in theoretical side, right, and the building inside the books, right. But he was not basically thinking of uh, the fire, right. So he was just like building the woods, bringing things together, sparking them a bit, but he was not firing them in a good way. And I see this in a lot of people where they really fall in over engineering the internal structures, right? And they are not really making profit. Or I've seen people and companies who basically are using simple Excel and very poorly managed, but they are making really good, right? So one has to always catch himself again when he fall into the over structural, the over accounting on the theoretical side, and leaving the let's say the practical side or bringing into reality. So what Mark was missing was a process for converting the raw material of innovation into real world breakthrough success. I love this. Oh my god, we as a human needs to be reminded a lot. Yani, it's funny because only when I read a lot, I find like I know this. When I'm reading, it's like I really know this. I really know that one should not count on the theoretical aspect while building anything, right? It's basically if you're even learning to play tennis, right? You cannot count heavily, but it feels that a human works better if they are constantly or frequently reminded of that things like it feels that our brain knows a lot of stuff, but when they are like labeled and put in a glamorous wording or said by someone who has a value, their weight is more important and we're more likely to take them into action. And that's just dumb. I don't know. It's just like human glitch. So what Mark was missing was a process of converting the raw materials of innovation into real world breakthrough success. Once a team is set up, what should it do? What process should it use? How should it be held accountable to perform milestones? These are questions the lean startup methodology is designed to answer. My point, Mark is entrepreneur just like Silicon Valley high-tech founders with a garage startup. He needs the principles of learn the lean startup just as much as the folks I thought in the classic entrepreneurs do. Entrepreneurs who operate inside the established organization sometimes are called entrepreneurs because of the special circumstances that attend building a startup within the large company. As I have applied in startup ideas in a very widening variety of companies and industries, I have come to believe that entrepreneurs have much more in common with the rest of the community of entrepreneurs that most people believe. This, when I use the term entrepreneur, I am referring to the whole startup ecosystem regardless of company size, blah blah blah. This book is accountable. I hate the sales pitch. They really turn me off. This book entrepreneur would if I am an entrepreneur. What is a startup? So a startup is a human institution designed to create a new product or service under condition of extreme uncertainty. I wish that I have a tool where I can just hover over this and you can just click paste it here because that's annoying. I want to digitalize this, but I cannot. A startup is a human institution designed to create a new product or service under condition of extreme uncertainty. So it's basically it's institutions of is a cycle of you being uncomfortable and trying to push forward with assumptions or data and trying to ground yourself. And the more you move forward, things get clearer. I've come to realize that most important part of the definition is what it omits. It says nothing about the size of the company, the industry, the sector of the economy. Anyone who is creating new product or business under condition of extreme uncertainty is an entrepreneur, whether he or she knows it is it or not. And whether working in any governmental agency, a venture-backed company, non-profit, or decidedly for-profit company with financial investors. Let's take a look at each of the pieces of the world institution. Oh my god. So as I'm reading here, I'm getting really excited to read the mom. There's a book called The Mom Test, and it basically talks how to ask the right question, how to ask the customers in a way that give you a clean data. So basically, it's saying that some customer interviews have a lot of wrong data because they are full of, let's say, as he's saying, vaguely answers or generalized answers or context-free answers, right? And I'm really excited to learn about it because it really aligns with even the vision, right? Because just like doing those like interviews with your customers, just asking them the right question, getting the right data, taking out all the compliments, the fluff, right? Because this book discussed that compliments are basically a way to be nice, right? So they are not real data you should count on. They are just fluff or stuff that's like it's this is part of us being a human. We be nice to each other, right? So we need to really take this and ask the hard question, ask the question that really gives us, right? So I'm very excited to learn about it, right? Because it even can change the vision. If your vision is serving customers certain person, right? And you're just learning that this does not align with the vision, right? Just like you could even go to that extent. I didn't really like product at the beginning, but now when I think about it, when I think about it from a customer perspective, it really makes a lot of sense, and I'm kind of falling in love with it, low key. And I love that I have two tech products. So like I have one that I like, both of them I have equity from. So I'm building two basically products that are going to see the light. Yes, yes, as we agreed. I definitely agree. So let's take a look at each of the pieces. The word institution, connect, what? I don't know how to read this. Even latently, how can that be part of startup? Yes, successful startup are full of activities associated with building institution, hiring creative employees, coordinating their activities, and creating a company culture that delivers results. We often lose sight of that the startup is not just about a product. Situated on the sun itself is completely enterprise. The firm that started and it actually is innovation is an essential part of the education and not to get and the fact that the education this is an essential area for the people who becomes customers. Anything first customers experience station where the people should be considered and response that this technology for years. What? They wanted to liberate taxpayers from expensive tax stores by automating the process of collecting information typically found on the I didn't get it. They want to liberate taxpayers from expensive tax stores by automating the process of collecting information typically found on W-2 form. The end of year statement that most employees receive from their employees that from employer that summarize their tax rates for the year. The startup will quickly run into difficulties even though many consumers had access to a printer scanner in their home or office. If you know how to use these devices or can memorize conversations with potential customers, it can make a good idea of helping customers to profitable other can directly from their cell phone. Approach your customers and the customers are simply expect to finish the whole tax return. Okay, the snap tax theory. I like this. I just want to Google it more. I feel that I have, and the book didn't really cover it in an intense way. The snap theory. No, the snap task theory. Tax. So in 2009, a startup decided to try something really audience. They wanted to liberate taxpayers from expensive stores by automating the process of collecting information typically found in W2 form, the end of the year statement that most employees receive from their own that summarize their taxable wages for the year. The startup quickly ran into difficulties, even though many customers had access to printer scanners in their home or office. If you know how to use those devices, this is interesting. This is because I don't even know how to use the printer. Is it a bad product? Is the printer a bad product? Why? I really know that there are a lot of jokes that people are saying printers are not easy to use. I don't know, but why? I wanna Reddit it. Like, why people think that printers are hard to use, right? Because even here, right? So they were giving them, instead of you pay taxes each time you go, they collect it to you and you hand it to you yearly, right? And the startup found difficulties because most of the employees weren't able to know, like, they didn't know how to use the scanners or the printers, right? So he said the startup will quickly run into difficulties, even though many consumers had access to a printer, a scanner in their home or office. If you know how to use these devices. Often numerous conversations with potential customers, the team lit upon the idea of having customers take photograph of the form directly from their cell phone. In the process of testing this concept, customer or something unexpected. What would it be possible to finish the whole tax return right on the phone itself? Right, that was interesting. That was not an easy task. Traditional task preparation requires consumers to wade up through hundreds of question, many forms, and a lot of paperwork. The startup tries something novel by deciding to ship an early version of its product that could do much less than the complete tax package. The initial version worked for the consumers with a very simple return to file, and it worked only in California. Instead of having consumers fill out a complex form, they allowed the consumers to use the. Oh, I have. Oh, that's funny. I like it. Tax form. Oh, I like it. I really like this. Okay, and Cool Smasher provides a magical experience from its most beginning snap task grow into significant startup success story. Its nationwide launch that can show dollar. This is amazing and innovation. However, shame now the company was owned by American largest producers of finance tax and computing tools for individuals and small business. So the whole product that really was loved by a lot of people was triggered by a question, which is so basically they had this and they automated it and they just like you are not required to pay taxes each time. You will send you a statement. They just like fill the WT form, and then the let's say consumer asks that question: would it be possible to finish the whole tax return right on the phone itself? Right? Why would I basically take a picture for the statement and then go fill the information? Like it's repetitive, right? Yeah. So I like it. Let me write about this. So I don't. I guess I can just throw the links here. That would be better, right? But let me write. Let's say الحبكة. So the product. Oh, let me have because now I can see it, right? It looks pretty 2009, pretty old style, and used by 350,000. Oh my god! First 3 weeks, woo! And that's 2009. Oh my god! Oh my god! I love how the book is pushing me to have adopt the execution mindset rather than the other one, which is I don't like. Hmm. يقول لك الأشخاص اللي people who build snap tasks, their company does not lack for resources. They are paid a full salary and benefits. They come into a regular office every day, yet they are entrepreneurs. I like this. I like this. It's just opened so many lights within my with me. I really like it. يعني I like it. Whew, I like this. It's going to be cool. Okay. Let me mark this. شنو اسمه؟ مشمش؟ شنو عمرها؟ هلو مشمش. مشمش؟ انت سميتيها مشمش؟ عطشانة ولا لا؟ هلو. اه مش قد تشرب؟ آه. هي عطشانة، خلي لي أكثر. خلي لي أكثر عطشانة. أنت شنو اسمك؟ عافية ملك، عافية. إيه ده تشرب مو؟ This is cute. Oh, يقول لك they are very good. They are very good at creating an incremental improvement to the existing products and serving existing customers. I like this. I like this. So they are not only basically they are not basically building product and that's it. So they are really good. They are very good at creating an incremental product. No, incremental improvement to what? To existing customers and serving to to existing customer and serving to existing product. Existing customers. I like this. I like this. Dollar minute turbo X. Dollar, yeah, they so because in my they built something called Turbo X upon the Snap X. Snap X. Snap Tax. They built. I love this. I really like it. I really like it. I really like it. It's saying that they are very good at creating incremental improvement to existing product and to existing product and serving existing customers, which Christian called sustaining innovation. Chris, Christiansen. I heard Christian. I'm sorry, I'm dumb. Christian. Sustaining innovation, like, but struggle to create a breakthrough new product, distribute innovation, dis- disrupt innovation that can create a new sustainable source of growth. Once, one remarkable part of Snap Task Theory is what the team leader said when I asked them to count for their unlucky success. Did they hire superstar entrepreneurs from outside in the company? No. They assembled a team from within. Into did they face start moving from the senior management, which is a band of innovation team and many areas now that executive sponsors created a nice band of freedom where they could experiment as necessary. Did they have a huge team, a large budget, and lots of marketing dollars? No, they started with a team of five. No, it's not a it was not their destiny or astrological, but it was the facilitator. Oh, I guess I would call it a day. I enjoyed this hour and some time. I really enjoyed it. I would say I'm pretty slow. I've read only 30 pages. I wouldn't say that I'm slow. Okay, that's pretty much it for today. See you for the next time. It was fun. Bye.